Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Million Chameleon and you're about to see my interview with Hans Zimmer. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background info as maybe this is the first video you're seeing, you're on the channel and you're like, why did this guy interview Hans Zimmer? Well, there's actually a crazy story to this. I was studying creative music technology in London at the time, and in fact I'm mainly a producer and songwriter, not a music journalist. But as a side gig, for some money, for some experience, I was writing articles about international music for an Italian newspaper back home. And along came the new Lion King movie and its London premiere, and the journalists that usually took care of these things couldn't at the time. So they were desperately looking for a replacement, and although I wrote about music, my name came up because of this opportunity to interview Hans Zimmer, which actually played in my favor. And so I really got to thank my boss at the time for putting my name up there and throwing me in this mix. I was a little lost, I was very young, and it was a crazy experience, but I gotta say, Hans was super easygoing. He put me at ease before the interview started. He was a great person to interview, really, took my questions and expanded with them, which is great, and just kind of all around gave me a crazy insight into this world and into basically meeting somebody that I had only studied on the books until then. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview. Please stick around for the rest of the channel, subscribe. I'm constantly posting vlogs about my music journey. You can find free instrumentals, both if you're an artist or you're a video maker. You can find a lot of my own music performances and live performances around here. So thank you for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy this interview as much as I did. So I was wondering, you've had some incredible musicians that you've brought on for this remake. I was wondering, how important was it for you to bring fresh eyes to your original score, and how was it like to contaminate your work with other musicians?
Contaminate, that's quite a word. I mean, no, it was, look, I got all my favorite players into this, and I really insisted on this too. I'll give you a really good example that on the first one, the budget was maybe a little less. So for a film about Africa, which should be full of really great percussionists, all the percussion sounds are samples played by me on a synthesizer, so they're not really good. So it was great to have Sheila E. and J.R. Robinson, and all those great drummers come in and actually say to them, in some of those places, you have to actually copy my terrible old fills. And going, well, not so bad, but them making it sound really good. I mean, we went from the notes are okay, everything is fine, to now let's really perform it and really put the extraordinary humanity and the extraordinary technique that all these people have into this. In fact, what happens to me at the premiere, I listen to all the wrong things. Like in Can't Wait to Be King, all I'm doing is I'm listening to Yolanda's bass line because she's really giving it some. I mean, it's like, or Guthrie's guitar playing, or so each moment is now painted or has the signature of a master musician. Somewhere in there is that.
Definitely. And I was also wondering, in this movie I felt like the score was such a vital part of it, because at least even the original was aimed at a younger audience, but so it has to maintain sort of a light air to it, but you're also treating some very dramatic moments in the movie. Can you talk me a little bit through the creative process that you had in finding like a correct balance between the two?
Well, actually, something, in this movie, the heavy moments are probably the same. I worked harder on trying to put more light moments into it, because I don't have the cute and funny animation anymore. Animals don't overact the way animation can. So I felt I had to go and be a little bit funny and a little bit broader in things. But for instance, the Stampede is, other than it's a little bit longer, it's exactly the same music. And then I had said to John, the two things I had asked for. One was that the death of the father would be exactly the same length, because it was written for my father, and I needed to sort of protect that, and he got that. And the very end, when he gets up onto the rock and he starts climbing up and all that is exactly the way it was in the old one, except I have amazing musicians performing it.
Perfect. And I'm also wondering, so you're working on several remakes even in the future coming out. I was just wondering, what is your personal perspective on working on remakes whereas having space to experiment in something that's completely new and completely different? So.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, you see, for me, Dune, for instance, is not a remake because I never saw the other movie because I loved the book so much. And I just went, hang on a second, 90 minutes or however long the old movie was, you can't tell that story that time. I don't want to see that. I don't want the movie that I made in my head, I don't want that to be tainted. And speaking with Denis over the years, you know, he's saying, I've waited 30 years to make this movie. And I'm going, I've waited 40 years to make this movie. You know, so I knew we were both hungry to try to do justice to it. We hope we can. You know, it's nobody sets out to ever make a bad movie.
Of course.
You know, I think we have a very good team on that.
All right. Well, thank you very much.